you have to be complicit in his health, right? So we can, okay, so now we're gonna do the high and tight. We're gonna take care of the pole pain. So what I'm gonna do is do a fascial stretch between occiput and C1.
Okay.
All right? So I'm gonna hold the halter here. I'm gonna take my cookie. This is not a treat. The treat is a physical pain relief. So he's a cookie monster.
Yes.
So you never give him the cookie, but you have him high and tight as you get him to bend at the ear. Never give him the cookie. All right? Get him to bend right there. Okay, good. So what we did is take away his jaw pain and take away his pole pain. Because the pole pain caused him to reflect and have jaw pain. And it's very important because you have a grade 5 out of 5 on his jaw pain, and that can cause its own issues because it can cause a trigeminal neuropathy because of the fascial constriction over the masseter. Right? Okay, so good. So come on over here. Let me see your left hand. So jugular groove. Hill, valley, hill, valley, hill, valley, hill, valley. Okay, so the hill is the cervical vertebra. Valley is inner space. So we do traditional carrot stretches, but we don't isolate individual cervicals. So let's do an isolation of individual cervicals. I'm gonna stand in a warrior pose or a fencer's pose. I'm gonna put the heel of my hand in mid-valley right here.
Okay.
I'm gonna take the cookie, and as he comes to it, I'm gonna push into that valley, which locks the lower. Okay, good. Go back to neutral. Go to the next valley. Good. Go back to neutral. Go to the last valley. And you have to push a little bit deeper because he's bending more. Okay, so good. This cookie is 3 months old. No, because he got the treat. He relaxed
Sure.
the cervicals, which relax the brachiocephalicus. Right? Okay, so let's take care of this pain right here. So we're gonna have to do some fascial stripping. We're gonna take out a tool. You can get the tool on Amazon, $9 to $12.
Okay.
You could use a spoon. You could use the lid of a pickle jar.
Okay.
Because he has entanglement of about 3 gluteals right here, I'm only gonna worry about the middle. I'm gonna start the highest point to here. I'm gonna go ahead and sweep this area about a 12 to 14 inch arc. I'm gonna start light, and then he gives to me. I'm gonna start digging in this way. Here. Okay, so he has a lot of knots in here. So I've done about 8 passes now. Now I'm gonna detangle. And I'm gonna probably move it about 5 centimeters each time. And I'm gonna do that twice on him because he has a lot of tangling there. Okay. I'm also gonna open up this area right here. So I'll do this highest point right off the midline, about 6 inches up. I'm gonna open this up. Okay, so what I've just did is relax that neural pain. And so now the jaw pain that was there is not there because the pain that was right here is diminished, right? Now let's stretch the ligaments of the sacropelvic. I'm gonna come to the sledge right here, the tubercocci. I'm gonna put my least dominant, my dominant, I call this the taffy pull, and I'm just gonna hang on it until I get that give. Okay, good? And that just opened up the pelvic and the sacrum.
Okay.
All right? All that neural tension is what we have to relieve. Okay, so let's come to this other side. Okay, we still have, see we still have the pain right there? But we know that we had to do this on both sides. All right? And actually, he's a little bit tighter on this side at this level, at the psoas origin. All right? So that's okay. Just work it. Just work it. All right? Good. And so now that tension to the psoas is decreased. Right? So he's no longer have that hip flexor tension and the hamstring tension. Now let's open up his pelvis because he has a sloped sacral base. So this I call the flat top. I'm gonna go the highest point, everything's about landmarks. Highest point up 12 inches, 3 inches off the midline. I'm gonna guard my fingers. I'm gonna press down and then push it back about an inch. And it's hard to get, okay, so he's not comfortable with it because it's very tight. On the track, I can't do that exercise. This goes to how long it's been there. So you could bring that in, and ideally I would hold that for about 10 seconds. He's not gonna manage that one. So let's go to plan B, right? On the track, they call this one the moneymaker because you need your psoas muscle, major and minor, to get impulsion.
Okay.
If you have no impulsion, you have no speed, right? So let's do plan B, and this is the push-pull. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to align my pelvis with his pelvis, all right? I'm gonna reach across my body and put contact right here on this tubercular side. My next hand is gonna be 6 inches above the tail head, and I'm going to just rotate. So this is the push, and this is the pull.
Okay.
And I will do that bilaterally,
Okay.
right? So now we have, what do we have left? The onus to the tell to everything being a problem is this right here. So let's take care of this rhomboid trapezius so we have more scapular movement. This is always the last stretch. So I'm gonna, Henry's better.
Yeah, see what I mean? We're working on it.
So I'm gonna lift this leg up, and I'm going to counterbalance, right? And I'm gonna stretch out. My left leg is straight. I'm not carrying the load. I know, he won't be a test case. And then I'm gonna micro vibrate for 10 seconds. And after 10 seconds, I'm gonna macro vibrate. And so what we've done, the scapula on the medial aspect is fibrous in nature in its attachments to the body wall. It's Velcroed down. So I need to break those, loosen them, and then open them up. And so what that does is freeze the rhomboid trapezius and freeze the tricep and freezes the flexors. Very important because you've been overloading to this left fore, and that overloading has caused your problems down low. So this is the result of long-term overloading. He's been heavy on the forehand, he's been difficult with transitions. You know, could have even had some head tilt, some problems with the bit, but all these are related to this myofascial pain.
Yeah, the one thing I noticed that
Good.
at least one time in riding, if not more, is he will just pull and shake his head.
Because that's not good, because that goes to,
I figure he's trying to tell me something. It's not just being obnoxious.
that's that trigeminal neuropathy associated with work, and then clenching of the masseter, clenching of the fascia, and the nerve is going, ah,
Yeah,
and then he wants to shake it off because you have to relieve it,
yeah.
right?
I figured he was trying to tell me something, so.
So he's a little disquieted, right? So this is what you do. You spend your 3 to 4 minutes breaking this tension that he has, right? I do the heavy lifting, you do the constant lifting. Never give him the cookie.
Okay.
Never give him the cookie.
Could part of the pain up here be due to his saddle?
No,
Okay,
I don't see any saddle pain,
okay,
right?
that's good.
Don't see any saddle. I'm a saddle misfitter.
Uh-huh,
I'll tell you when you have a fitting problem. I won't tell you the saddle, which saddle to get, but I'll tell you if you have contractions in the intercostals or in the loin that are telling you that you have contraction patterns usually fit saddle misfits, right? Good?
yep.